Welcome back, everyone. It's time for another episode of Interventions and Detentions. And I'm Brad, your host, and I'm super excited. This is going to be hard not to probably laugh a little. I might even need some Kleenex because I might shed some tears. I don't know. This is the episode that I have been waiting to do for so long. My wife, Shari Targgart, who gets all the shout outs on Intervention and Detention, is sitting across from me today. I'm a little nervous.
You should be.
I'm a little nervous because I know she's going to keep it real, and we're going to dive into a topic today that hits home because I want to know what it's like for her to be married to an educator, teacher first, principal later. And actually, she's been married to me as a principal longer than she was married to me as a teacher. I'm excited about this, and I'll give a little backstory before Shari introduces herself. I've been wanting her to do a podcast with me for years. We've talked about it at the dinner table, had the perfect name. We're going to call it All the BS, Brad and Shari, BS, All the BS, and talk about married life. So maybe, Shari, maybe this will kick off to our own spin-off episode, podcast, whatever you want to call it.
If we could be so lucky.
If we could be so lucky. And maybe if we could make millions of dollars for it and you wouldn't have to be a nurse anymore and I wouldn't have to work in education, we could just go with it. But, Shari, I've told the listeners before who you are, what you do, but let's hear it from you. Tell us all about Shari.
I am a mom of two, married to a child. And
that is true. So really you have three is what you're saying.
Correct. I think most wives out there do. I've been an oncology nurse for 25 years, my entire nursing career. Wouldn't do anything else. Maybe hospice, but it's a whole nother topic for a whole nother discussion. But I'm the more serious of the two. I think that's about it. I would much rather be in my house with a book than peopling.
She doesn't people well. If for a nurse, you would think a nurse would love to people, but I think she peoples all day long.
I people all day long,
so
and I'm done peopling by the time the
she
clock
is.
turns.
I will say this, and I probably don't give her enough credit. She puts into what she does every day 300 times, and she is spent when she comes home emotionally, physically, and she tells us that, but we don't recognize that probably nearly enough. Her job, if any of you know anything about oncology nursing, is a very, very difficult field to be in as a nurse. There's a lot more losses than wins. We'll just leave it at that. And she is doing what she is called to do. I'm proud to be her husband and proud that she is a nurse and has the career that she's had. She's an amazing woman. And that's a whole other episode, I suppose. Maybe we should come back sometime to that whole episode. But this episode is what we're talking about is what it's really like to be married to someone who their life revolves around school and education. That's my job. And I know it's not been easy for Shari or the girls. The girls are going to have their chance to come clean with what it's like to be daughters of an educator, but Shari's had to deal with it the longest, the most, and we're just going to jump right in. So, Shari, go back in time. We get in the time machine every once in a while on this episode, on this show. Let's jump in the time machine and head back to, let's say, 1996. Maybe even a little bit before that, because you and I started dating 1994, correct?
Correct.
Whew, I didn't forget. And I'll be honest, Shari was in high school when I met her. I was in college. There's 5 years between us. We could probably have a whole episode on how we met and how we came to be, but we probably should save that for another time. Mm-hmm. And I was, at that time, I believe you knew I was going to school to be a teacher, correct?
Yes.
So what did you think about that?
Well, one of my first memories of you being in college was when you had to retake statistics, and being the math whiz that I was, I helped you pass statistics. And
I remember that.
And I was a little confused, honestly, as to why a principal would need stats, but that's a whole nother thing. But I don't know that I really thought anything, to be honest. I just thought, you're a teacher, you put in the time and you punch out and you go home. And I think a lot of times we think that about most careers. And the true professions that are in service, because that's what we are, is servants. We know that you're not done when you punch out. And whether it's me and I'm thinking constantly about patients or the week ahead or how things are going to be, or whether it's you thinking about, the emails you're answering, the this, that, and the other that's going on. And I really don't think I had much of a clue as to how much extra time that took. I knew that there would be grading papers, but I really didn't know,
Lesson plans,
Sunday nights in school, and all of that. So,
well, and I think to our demise, we lived, 5 minutes from my building when I was a teacher,
Literally.
when we were married. So it was super easy for me to say, hey, I'm going to run over to school real quick. I need to do this, or I need to go grab something. And then, you stay there longer than 5 minutes. And you do a good job of putting up with that. It's been a long time since I thought about how it was before kids, when we just started out. You were still in college when I started teaching.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember me doing homework and you grading papers, and sometimes I'd help grade papers just to get you through them.
Yep.
And we could watch a movie or something that evening.
Or play Resident Evil on PlayStation.
It's true.
Good times.
But, I don't know. I just, it was different.
So then jump ahead. This was 1997 when I was starting to teach, and I jumped right in to my master's program. I knew quickly that if I wanted to make a difference, also make money to support our family, teaching was probably not going to be the best thing to do. Teachers don't get paid what they should. I'll say it. Nurses don't get paid what they should. People in general don't get paid what they should. I think I talked about that on an episode ago. But anyway, jumped into my master's program in 1997 and said, I want to get my master's. If I decide to do something, I could at least get my master's in administration and have that in my back pocket. What went through your mind then?
I don't really think I was fazed much about it. I think I thought that, the evenings of lesson plans and all of that, maybe that was going to go away.
Yeah.
Maybe I just had a lot of, I think I was just super naive to a lot of things back then.
Well, and it took me, I think it was about 6 years to do my master's. I did it, a couple courses at a time, worked on it in the summer. Did you expect our family life to look different once I moved into administration? Had you thought about that at all? Or when I called you and said, I just got a job offer?
I think I really thought that you were going to it was going to be better, in all honesty. And it's not that it was bad. It was just different time constraints. And
absolutely. It looks different.
Yeah. That hat just doesn't come off at all. Like, I think, just to let everybody know, the month of August of 2003 was weird for us. Like, within 2 weeks, you got your first job as a principal. Mm-hmm. We found out we were pregnant, and we celebrated our anniversary. So it was a busy 2 weeks. Uh-huh. And, I remember feeling excited, obviously, of the changes that were coming, and you had this brand new school, and how great was that? And I really had no idea that once the principal hat went on, it was probably never going to come off.
It's hard.
I mean, in all honesty. And I know that a lot of times it makes me sound very negative about it, and it's not that I am negative about your job, but it's really hard when all I want is for the principal hat to come off and the dad hat or the husband hat to come on. And that's probably what I've struggled with all of these years.
We'll talk more about those hats in a minute, because as many as I have, I do feel like I wear one the most sometimes, and it's hard. Throw into that mix of that first job, by the way, driving an hour and 15 minutes one way to that job. We also put our house up for sale, our little 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath home that was our starter home, and we knew that we had to be closer to school. Again, whole other story, but just throw that in the mix of Brad being on the road 2.5 hours a day total, just driving back and forth. So lots of strains that first year on both of us, I think. So how do you explain to other people what it's like being married to a principal? Do you ever talk about that? Like when people say, "What does your husband do?" and you say, "Oh, he's a principal." Oh, what's that like?
I say he's a principal. I say he'll do anything for his kids. And they're the heart. They're his heart.
Thank you. They are. I do this not for the adults. Sometimes for the adults, it's hard. You got to do things for your teachers. You got to do things for your staff. You got to do things for your parents. But at the end of the day, it's the kids that keep me doing what I'm doing. Thanks for recognizing that. What's been the hardest adjustment for you personally? We kind of dove into that just a second ago about the different hats, but over the years, and I've been in this now going on 30 years. It's been a long time.
I would say probably the public scrutiny. No matter what school you've been in, whatever level of building you've been at, there have been quite a few times along the road where there's been public scrutiny. And if anybody knows me, you know that after being a nurse, I mean, it's who I am. But I'm also the biggest mama bear that you will ever find. And that includes my kids, that includes my husband, that includes what's mine. So if you come at any of mine,
Look out, people.
You need to be ready for what comes back at you. And unfortunately, probably the hardest thing for me has been to gauge that and to hold some of that back publicly.
And you've done great with that, because I know there's times where you have wanted to go off the end, and I try to keep you, grounded and pull you back in. And I, sometimes I don't want to have to do that, because you have every right as a person to express yourself and your feelings and your opinions and protect the ones you love. But at the same time, you also know that fine line of, I gotta just be quiet on this one and let it roll out.
My mom used to tell me growing up that, because we lived in a small town, there was always someone watching. There was always someone who wanted to be able to tell her whatever, not bad thing that we were getting into, but just what we were up to. And so I feel like that I've always kind of remembered that, and that has been a little bit of what has been able to hold me back as well. Just knowing that there's somebody who's, especially nowadays, where social media at every turn, and there's always someone there to tell everyone else how you acted or how you behaved about something. So.
Absolutely. What part of my job spills into our home life the most?
Everything.
You can't be more specific?
No. The phone calls at all hours. The emails that you're still answering at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. It's my time. And I get really irritated about it, as you can probably tell. Like,
I couldn't tell.
And it's not something that I can hide well, or there have been times in the past, not distant past, but or not recent past, but in the past, where let me answer the phone. Let me do this. Let me do that. This is my time. Do they not know this is my time? And someone needs to be dying before they are interrupting my time.
Well, and it's super hard for me not to answer the phone or answer an email.
I don't know that I've ever, maybe maybe twice in our marriage have you ever not answered something.
It's hard, and part of that is just pressure on me of not wanting things to sit till morning, or I feel like if somebody's reaching out to me at 9:30 at night, it must be important, because it couldn't have waited till morning for them to call. Maybe it could have, I don't know, but it's hard. And as many times as I've said, like, I'm going to turn the phone off at 8 o'clock or 5 o'clock, and emails not get checked till the morning. Some people are really good about that. I just never have. And I know it puts a strain on our family and you, and I know that you don't like it. And I appreciate that you put up with it as much as you do. Because
I mean, there's times where you have the day off because you've taken it off and the phone doesn't turn off.
right. No, it happens. We're, especially with cell phones and things now, we're way more accessible than I was when I first started teaching. So we're a victim of our own circumstance sometimes. But I guess I'm going to maybe skip this next question, because I already know the answer. Do you ever feel like our family gets a second place to school? It sounds like that's probably a yes.
I'm going to go with 105% of the time.
Okay. Something I need to work on, I guess.
105% of the time.
Yeah. And I think, as I approach the downward hill of my career, I mean, I'm not close to retirement, but I'm a lot closer to retirement than I am the beginning of my career. Maybe I can make that a goal to be a little bit better about putting school second place sometimes and the job second place versus you and the girls in our family. I know we talked about this question ahead of time, and I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm gonna ask it because I want you to have the chance to answer it, and for my fans to hear another example of how school life interferes. What's that moment that you remember when my job clearly interrupted our family life?
I remember you were a principal at Wookett Mills, and I think it was Maddie would have been, I think, middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember volleyball. She was on the volleyball team, and she had a tournament game versus a Fort Wayne school. And anybody can sit here and say that, middle school volleyball doesn't mean anything. But I was told that evening that you weren't going to be there because your school had their float, the PTO, not even the school, the PTO had their float in the Corn School, which is the street fair in LaGrange, had their float in the parade, and you needed to be there. And you weren't there while I was drying tears.
Which I didn't find out. I don't feel like you maybe shared that with me at the time, and maybe you didn't, because I totally don't remember this moment, and maybe I just blocked it out because
pretty sure
it's a harsh moment as a dad to hear, that your daughter was upset and crying that you weren't at her volleyball game over something school related. And looking back, probably shouldn't have been at the Corn School parade. Probably didn't need me at the parade.
Nope.
Probably had I told somebody like, I got this volleyball game, they would have said go. I don't think, people would have said, no, you need to choose this over your family. Because I will say that's one thing about education, and I think probably even nursing too, and maybe most things. People always, I feel like they always say family first, put your family first, put your family first. Even when it's hard for us to do that sometimes. So, hearing Shari talk about this tonight before we got, or even a week ago when we kind of were talking about this episode, it brought that memory back. And, those are things you can't change. I can say I'm sorry, but that doesn't change the emotions, the feelings that happened at that moment. So, again, things that I need to kind of reflect on, wow, don't let that happen again. Family is always more important. So let's flip that for a second. Let's turn our frown upside down, hopefully. What's been the proudest moment you've had as my wife watching me in this career?
I think just your accomplishments and the effects that you have on people. As much as it annoys me for a what should be a half-hour trip to Walmart, which takes 2.5 hours because we run into 5 different people that you see.
That are all tied to school somehow.
Correct.
Either past or present.
As much as I cringe when I hear Mr. T, Mr. T, Mr. T, it still makes me proud that you've had that effect on the youth of our community.
Well, and I would flip that to you. And when we're out, and we see family members who you've affected by caring for a loved one, I mean, it's amazing to hear their stories of your caringness, your compassion, and the stuff that I don't get to see. I get to hear about it. Remember way back when you worked in the hospital at Parkview and I came to visit you. You were super busy running all over the place. And
it was a Saturday, and my patient had no platelets and was passing. Well, we won't even finish, but.
And I wrote you a letter.
I was pretty sure she was going to die that night, and and I remember it was a big deal. It was a big deal.
Do you remember what that letter was called, or what I wrote?
I remember what you wrote.
I think I had entitled it, "I Watched You Today."
Yeah.
Yeah. I just sat back and I watched her because I don't get to see that. And, Shari doesn't talk about work a whole lot. Well, you do talk about work.
Can't. I mean.
You can't, but you do tell me how your day was and things like that.
Right.
But I don't get to see it. And you don't always get to see me either necessarily. Like you come in and have lunch every once in a while and visit and things, and it's different in the workroom. But it was so cool to watch you that day and see you in action, if that makes sense. To watch you lead with emotion and passion and caring and healing and all the stuff. So
that was at the very beginning.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the beginning.
When did we get here?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. You were too busy being a principal.
And you were too busy being a mom and a nurse, but look at us now. How do you keep me grounded when I'm buried in all the school stuff? I mean, I don't feel like I get buried, but I probably do. How do you help me out there, girl?
I don't really feel like I help you out at all these days. Like, I just feel like I internalize a lot these days about it.
Well, and I don't talk about work a whole lot, so that probably doesn't help.
So when you're just doing your stuff,
But I think I feel like when something's weighing on me, school related or work related, and you don't know what it is, but there's something off. Probably those days that I'm not picking or, getting on your last nerve of just being Brad, because I know how much you love that.
No. I hate that.
Because I always tell Shari, I have to be a principal and serious.
I have to be so serious at work all day. So
when I come home, honestly, listeners, if she saw me at work, she would know that I'm not so serious.
Oh, I know you're not so serious. So there's no reason why I get what I get at home.
Yeah, well, it sounds good anyway.
I need you to be serious a little bit of the time.
Oh, okay. So maybe that leads into this question. If you could change one thing about how I balance school and home, what would it be?
Less of a clown.
Okay.
I'm more of a dad, more of a husband, less of a clown, less of a principal. I immediately not necessarily take the offensive for our children as far as I want to hear the situation. I want to hear all the things, but I can remember so many things where I would say, because, quote, you handle the school stuff and I handle the medicine. And so I can remember, saying to you, I need you to do X, Y, Z. And you're always stopping my feelings and saying, but it's probably like this, and it's your principal hat.
Yes, it is. Unfortunately,
you just can't turn it off.
It is hard. It really is, and I don't do it intentionally by any means. It's so ingrained, unfortunately. And I hear, when we've had say, issues with the girls, whether it's grades or sports or something, I've already heard those scenarios 15 times usually. And so I know how it's going to play out or how it should play out. And that's where that comes from, I'm sure. Doesn't help. I know it doesn't help me trying to rationalize that in this moment in the middle of a podcast, but that's where it comes from. And you're right. It's, I need to step back sometimes and just listen and shut the pie hole
and let me fly off the handle.
and let you fly off the handle
and
let you yell at somebody or
yeah, like,
just don't yell at me, Shari.
Well, put your dad hat on.
Okay, putting the dad hat on, folks. If you could see me, and if I had a hat here that said dad on it, I'd wear it frontwards and backwards if I could. Oh boy, Brad's in trouble again.
Hey, you asked for this.
I did ask for this. I said it's going to be fun. It's a great episode so far.
I said that you weren't really going to love it.
Yeah. So how do you handle high stress of being a nurse, but also married to a principal like me, which is a whole different set of stress? How do you handle it?
I'm heavily medicated. Heavily medicated.
Well, I don't know that we're supposed to say that on the air like that, but
it's all legal.
It is all legal. It's all prescription based, so it's all good. But you read, you're an avid reader. I mean, you do a lot of things to de-stress that you don't really think about, probably. I mean, you just do it. You read, you relax, you just chill, which is, you need to do that. It's your way of decompressing after, the day that you have. And there's so much going on with Shari's work right now, like clinics getting remodeled and located, and which relocates her and her crew. It's taking her out of her norm right now. People not showing up for work and people covering people. I mean, again, that's not any different than most places these days, I think. But when you're not used to it and it's just kind of thrown at you, it makes stress levels go up. So she's dealing with a lot of stuff right now, but she's doing really well with it, aren't you? Mm. She says, give me some more pills. Oh, gosh. What about our kids? I know that's a whole other episode, but do they help keep us grounded at all? Or I feel like
the older they get, the more, I don't want to say this, like the more they're able to, like Maddie can tell you exactly what moment in her life you chose school over her. Like,
I wonder if Meredith can.
I'm sure.
I wonder if she has a moment.
And I still think back to the times, when you first had Maddie at school with you, and you came into her class and she was like, "Hi, Dad," and you ignored her on purpose.
Oh, I looked at her.
Well,
I gave her the look.
Well, right, but ignored her dad comment.
Did not answer her, but gave her the look.
Yes, I'm not commenting on that.
Not talking to you because you called me something that you can't call me at school.
Correct. And then as you turned around and walked away, she said, "Bye, Dad, love you." And Meredith was the total opposite of that. Please don't call me your kid. Yeah. Please don't look at me. Please don't smile at me. Don't acknowledge me, any of that. And
I think I told Maddie on that way out, I said, you can call me Mr. T or Mr. Taggart, because this was all new. I had always said I don't want the girls to be in my school. We both said that. We didn't think it would be good for them or for me.
I think looking back, to be honest, it really was a conflict of interest. I feel like, that may have been, had you not had them in your school corporation, you may have been a little more easily able to put your dad hat on. Mm-hmm. I agree. Because it wouldn't be any of your, quote, peers that you were offending by coming at them.
Or I'm taking the side of my kids, or whatever the situation might be. Definitely, I think that was a conflict of interest. And it was a hard decision. Our girls were in Catholic school up until that point. We had made the choice to put them there. We didn't live in the district that I was a principal in. We never have. Mm-hmm. And so some people didn't like that. Like, oh, you're sending your kids to private school. Well, we just felt like that was the family choice to make. That was where we wanted them. That's right.
It wasn't anybody's business.
Our convictions led us that way. But then at the same point, when I went from elementary. I was asked to go to our middle school by our superintendent. They needed somebody to lead that building, and she asked me, and I said yes. And that's when we also decided, okay, I'm going to be a little bit further from the girls now. Is it time that we start thinking about them being in the same corporation as me, same calendar, same schedule? And we pulled the trigger, which, for the girls was tough. They went from being in a small Catholic school where class sizes, one room per grade level, 10 to 12 kids, maybe 15. It was different. And I think they both adjusted well. And I'm probably jumping into next episode with the girls, but I honestly think Maddie excelled. Meredith excelled in her own way because she struggled a little bit academically and socially, I think, sometimes at Catholic school. It just wasn't her groove, unfortunately. But I feel like because of the academics and the foundation she had in the Catholic school setting, when she went into public school, it clicked for her for some reason, and grades in school became a little bit easier because school and grades come easy for Maddie, much like Mama. School and grades come harder for Meredith, much like Daddy. And, I was never a strong student, didn't really want to put the time or the effort into it until I got to college and figured out, gosh, now I have to do that. So, but anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going with that. It just,
we're talking about keeping the kids keeping us balanced, and I just think that as they grew, they became a little more aware of the different roles, and I think expectations. Your expectations were that you weren't going to put your dad hat on. It just wasn't going to happen, and so I think they just learned to expect that.
Yeah. All right, dear. We are over 30 minutes. You might actually hold the record tonight for longest episode, which I'm proud that's you and me. But we're not done yet.
Oh, goody.
You know what time it is? I can't wait. This is my favorite part. It's rapid fire question time.
Do I get a real weapon?
No.
Oh. Okay.
This is where Brad, the host, asks rapid fire questions to the guest. And I will say, I think Shari might have looked at these ahead of time because she likes to prep like that. However, let's see how she answers these questions rapid fire style. That's right. All right. Who's more patient, Shari, you or me?
Really depends on the situation.
Me.
No. You are more of a pushover. I stick to my guns, hold my ground.
Yes.
But ask our children who they want to teach them to drive.
That's one thing.
It doesn't matter. I said it depends on the thing.
That's one example.
It's a perfect example. How you teach everyone else in your life how to do it, and you're patient with them, but not patient with your own children.
Ask the children who they would rather go to the grocery store with.
That's because you buy them whatever they want. Push over.
Okay, wrong example.
Okay.
Who do they listen to more, me or you?
Definitely not me. They don't listen to anybody because you're a pushover and they don't listen to me.
They listen when we start yelling, I think. And then even then, sometimes not so much because they know we're just going to yell and move on. And sometimes it's just easier to say, whatever, girls.
And Meredith laughs inappropriate like her father.
Meredith would laugh when she got spanked as a kid. I don't know how that happened. Maddie would be the obedient one and go to the corner and stick her nose in the corner, and Meredith would giggle. So
and white boogers on the
and then white boogers on the wall. So I think we still have some there. I'm going to make her clean those tonight. What's the most principal-y thing I do at home? Is there anything principal-y that I do?
I don't
Do
know.
I say, hey, I think, so one thing when I could think of that's kind of principal-y is I feel like everybody leaves lights on in this house, and I'm always saying it'd be nice if somebody shut the lights off, or I'll get the lights.
I don't leave the lights on.
No, you do a pretty good job, so I guess it's just the girls, but I feel like me enforcing the hallway rules or something around here. You got to do this, girls. You got to do this. Ooh. Anything else that comes to mind principally?
No.
Okay.
Everything.
If, this will be fun. If our marriage had a report card, what grade would you give it? Be gentle.
Be gentle.
Come on, babe.
I mean, for the most part, you get at least a C+.
Well, like I said, I never
You-
really went out of the ballpark on my grades. So
Right, exactly.
me
Because you don't
personally,
put
or
it-
our marriage, this is a two-way street, girl. Not just about Brad. It's about
our
Brad.
marriage.
Yes.
Oh, it might be worse than C+.
No, it's not. I think.
I'm a realist.
Isn't that a song? Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel, if you're going to ask me that rapid fire question, I feel like we're at least a B plus or an A minus. And maybe I got my rose colored glasses on. And I think, don't you think, lately, the last few years, and I don't know if that's because the girls are, more independent.
It's better.
It's better. I think we've kind of learned to reconnect a little bit. I'm not going to say we don't have our tiffs, our arguments, our, whatever, our, needs aren't getting met for this or that, whatever. That's marriage. But, babe, I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else. I wouldn't.
I mean, I feel like as long as you feed me, I'm pretty good.
Dude, I brought you donuts, coffee today. I went and got you
donuts. I just wanted the coffee.
Well, did I not take care of you?
Yes, but
Without even I did ask, but then I didn't hear from you because you were sleeping. I went right to the coffee shop, got what you wanted, got you some pumpkin donuts.
taking a different coffee order.
Well, I know, but I just didn't know. I need to get a list. Just be happy I brought you coffee. I take good care of you, I think, most of the time.
For the most
and
part.
you do me too. I appreciate you, babe. Worst part about being married to me during the school year. I don't even know if it's
school year. It's the same thing.
It's all year.
It's all year.
What's the worst part?
I gotta pick one.
Yes, and it's rapid fire. Go. The clock's ticking.
I really don't know. I don't know that I can pick one.
Good. Then let's move to the next one.
It's
Best perk. What's good about being married to the principal? I can think of a couple things.
I don't know. Being able to get into the school when my kid forgets something.
That's exactly what I was.
That's really the only thing.
Parking at the front entrance for athletic events and going through the school the quick way so we don't have to go fight the crowd. Things like that.
And a free sports pass.
That's a good thing. I'm trying to think what else. The late nights, that's got to be a perk when Brad's not home and you get to chill and watch what you want to watch on TV.
No.
You always get to watch what you want to watch.
Yes. Because the first volleyball game that you drove this year, because that's a great idea.
I drive bus, by the way.
You can't say no, governor. You were gone till 11:30 because those little girls needed Taco Bell after a 5-set game.
Yep.
No.
Gotta take care of I can't let
Just say no.
I can't let the youth go hungry. Those poor kids, it was a late night,
Just say no.
Okay.
They're high school students.
That was episode two or three ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just say no, governor. Who's more likely to get detention at home?
Oh, you.
Yeah. I try to give you detention, but you just walk away and whatever.
I'm sure I have a gesture for that.
Yeah. If you could give me one piece of advice as your student, what would it be? Waiting.
I have no idea.
All right.
Just say no.
Just say no, Brad. And he's working on it. Did I not say no this week at a volleyball game that we were watching?
Something that you really didn't want to do. You didn't really want to do it when the kids were in school.
No, but I did it for them. I wasn't doing it the other night. I was going to sit by your side and watch volleyball. Just the two of us.
Yeah.
All right. Let's kind of wind this down, Shari, as we wrap it up. What's the biggest lesson you've learned being married to me through all the job changes and teacher and principal jobs in different buildings? What's the one biggest lesson that you've learned?
Even though you wear many hats, it's never the one I want.
Okay. I'm working on that. I'll work on it for you. I promise. I'll work on it. Got to get better. If you don't know what you need to do until you need to know what you got to do. I think that's a t-shirt in the making, Officer Kuntz.
Lord.
All right. If another spouse came to you asking, what's it like being married to the principal? What would you say?
Just say no.
Just say, wow. So with that, I'll ask you, would you marry a principal again? If I leave this earth tomorrow and you start dating?
If you leave this earth tomorrow, I'm dating for money.
Girl,
that's why you can't say no.
girl, I work the.
I know, that's the point.
I would drive a bus for you. I drive driver's ed for you. If you didn't do what's that? Stitch fit or
No.
stitch? What's it called?
Nope.
Stitch fix?
Nope.
Stitch knit?
Not that.
Stitch witch? I don't know.
Not that.
Those monthly subscription things. You got Melaleuca here. You got.
Nope.
You got. What's the oils?
I don't do those.
Oh, we got a whole rack full of oils.
I haven't done that in over 2-3 years.
What do I have? Goose egg.
That's a lie.
What do I have?
You have all your boy products that you use. Just
Soap.
like me.
A bar of soap.
That's not what it is.
A bar of soap.
Beard stuff, and head stuff.
I order Harry's soap.
Hey,
listeners,
just because you might have, it's just a little bit of bougie product.
I kid you not, listeners.
I'm sorry if
there's
I need
no room
Birkenstocks.
in my shower for Brad because there's 80 bottles of product that we don't use, but
Have you
cost
seen these
$80.
curls?
I love those
They
curls.
take product.
Love those curls.
They take product.
Love the
so
curls.
sorry.
I have a little wire rack in our shower that's for my bar of soap and a razor. Now there's like 8 bottles on it. No room for my soap anymore. I'm going to have to get soap on a rope and hang it from the shower head.
Whatever.
Hey, Shari, guess what? 41 minutes, babe. You're awesome. I love you so much. I love you for putting up with me, my job. I love you for doing the podcast. I love you for the nurse that you are, the mom that you are, and the person that you are. And I wouldn't want to do this with anybody else.
I love you too.
All right, let's get out of here.
If anybody really wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation about the particulars, I'd be happy to do that.
Anytime, over coffee, she's all yours, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Coming at you next week. Who knows? It might be Maddie and Mary's show. They're coming up soon, so it's going to be a good time. Thanks for tuning in. Join us again next week when we come back at you with another episode of Interventions and Detentions, where the real learning begins.